Something amazing is going to happen in a few days. The fact that you're opening this video is a sign that you need to hear these incredible secrets. If God wills it, listening to this lesson from start to finish will bring blessings and abundance to every part of your life. You should know that there are millions of people who will live that day as just another normal day. They'll wake up, have breakfast, go to work, everything as usual. But the fact that you are going to listen to this lesson will give you a perspective on life and some treasures and secrets that are relevant to your life today. Incredible and impressive secrets. Listen carefully. First of all, I want to invite you to travel back 3,337 years. Listen carefully. In order for you to deeply understand what is going to happen in a few days, you need to understand what happened on that same day 3,337 years ago. Listen carefully. First, I'll give you a bit of context. To really get into what we're going to talk about, especially what is going to happen on this great day, it's this. As you probably know, the people of Israel, we were in Egypt. There were many of us in Egypt, many families in Egipto. We were descendants, we still are, of our patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12 tribes, the 12 sons of Jacob. And once we arrived in Egypt, we were cruelly enslaved for hundreds of years. I'll summarize to get to the point, but it's important you grasp the concept. Basically, in Egypt, we were enslaved families, all sons and daughters of our patriarchs and matriarchs, as we said before. Obviously, very well. Now, what happened? There is a very particular day when something unique happened in history. That was when God revealed himself to Moses. God revealed himself to Moses and told him that he has to take his people, the people of God, the people of Israel, out of Egypt. He will have to be the spiritual leader, the great rabbi of the people of Israel, as it is said in Hebrew, Moshe Rabbeinu, Alav Hashalom. And basically, Moshe Rabbeinu, our Rabbi Moses, our great leader, takes us out of Egypt. Obviously, as you surely know, there are 10 famous plagues which the whole world heard about. Obviously, it was something, a divine revelation with a capital D in an impressive, relentless way on a worldwide, universal, global level. And basically, the people of Israel left the land of Egypt led by Moses. Very well. As you surely know, we reached the Red Sea, Yam Suf as it's called in Hebrew, and we were really in a moment of great stress, of great danger. Why? Because you have to know, which not many people know, that even though the Egyptian people suffered the 10 great plagues, Pharaoh regretted it. And he decided, despite everything, despite seeing that God, the Creator, the Almighty, obviously loves his people, he decides to rebel. Clearly for the blessing of the entire world, not only the people of Israel. And he says they have to leave there in order to arrive. Obviously, in the future, to the land of Israel, Pharaoh was so cruel and so wicked that he decided to chase them again. And you have to know that Egypt at that time was obviously an empire. It was an impressive power, with a formidable military for that time, with chariots and many obviously professional soldiers with horsemen and so on. And we, the people of Israel, who were basically a family, a big family, divided into sub-families, families, many families, but we were one big family, the people of Israel. And basically that's what we were. We weren't an army or anything like that. And what happened? And the people of Egypt decided to pursue us again under the leadership of the Pharaoh at that time. And we really reached a point that was crucial for history. Why? It was a brutal lesson. Which one was it? We basically arrived at the shore of the Red Sea, of Yam Suf, as it's called in Hebrew, to the sound of the Egyptian army's horses galloping. Which is like today, think about it, it's as if today a family hears that a great army, a great power, with its tanks and its ships and the chariots and everything, and planes. Obviously, that was at that time. They're chasing you. You're a family, not an army. And what's in front of you? You have a sea. And what's on the right? A desert. On the left, another desert with wild animals. Where to go? And that was a pivotal moment in which one person stepped forward. His name was Nachon. the son of Aminadab from the tribe of Yehuda, the leader of the tribe of Yehuda, one of Jacob's sons, decided to continue. Obviously, people asked him, Nachshon, where are you going? You were in the sea. Remember, it was nighttime. There could have been crocodiles and other animals, very, very dangerous fish and other kinds of reptiles. It was very, very dangerous. And Nachshon, obviously knowing the promise that God is with the people of Israel, and basically God told Moses moments before, he said, I'll say it in Hebrew and then translate, Daber el ben Israel baisau, speak to the people of Israel and continue. God asked the people of Israel to have absolute trust in God, that this was God's will, that we continue. Even if there is a sea in the middle, God would take care of it. How could we not know? We have to remember that at that time we had seen the 10 plagues. God revealed himself in an impressive way. It's not like today when you really have to strengthen yourself in prayers and in faith, obviously, of course. But at that time, the divine perception was very overwhelming, very impressive. God revealed himself and told Moses to tell the people of Israel to continue. And Nachshon ben Aminadab, the son of Aminadab, continued. And until the waters were up to here, everything, I imagine, Egyptian chariots in the background, cries of the Egyptians, the people of Israel stunned, holding their breath. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Nachshon, Nachshon. Suddenly God, at a moment when Nachshon could barely breathe, God parted the waters. The people of Israel, obviously with incredible joy, crossed the Red Sea, witnessing an amazing spiritual scene. God revealed himself in an incredible way. We witnessed an amazing prophecy. The simplest person saw what the great prophet Ezekiel, the son of Buzi, later could not perceive with his great prophecy. That is, all the people of Israel witnessed an amazing prophecy, and that prepared us for what was going to happen in just a few days, in the month, in Hebrew, in the month of Sivan. The month of Sivan is the time when the following is going to happen. I will tell you about it soon so you can understand the magnitude of what is going to happen and how much spiritual treasure you can gain for your life. Listen, we left the Red Sea, and where did we go? To Mount Sinai. And we had to wait, we had to purify ourselves. For what? To reach the day of the month of Sivan, according to the Hebrew calendar, when the people of Israel received the Torah. And that's what we're going to talk about for a few moments, a few minutes, about what this great day means for you. Whether you are Jewish or not, what I'm going to tell you is relevant for all of humanity. And unfortunately, as I said, there are millions of people who will wake up in a few days as if it were just a normal day without knowing what I'm about to tell you. How much spiritual beauty you can receive for your life, for the lives of your loved ones, your family, all your friends, for all of humanity. It's something amazing. Listen. So we arrived at the foot of Mount Sinai. We had to wait a few days to purify ourselves. I'm telling you this very, very briefly. This is written in the Torah, obviously. And what happened? God reveals himself. You have to imagine that God's revelation at that moment was a unique revelation in history, one that was never repeated in the future. It was something unique in history, in which millions of people, the people of Israel, millions of us, heard the voice of God. And even more, we saw the letters in Hebrew. It is written, Roim et hakolot. We saw the voices, that is, we saw the letters in Hebrew. Basically, the first 2 commandments, which is what we are going to focus on in this class, which is really remarkable. Basically, we saw the letters of the first 2 commandments, which in Hebrew are Anoshi Adonai, Eloheisha, Asherot, Tzetiham, Eretz Mitzrei, Mibeit Abadim. I am God, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery.
Before we continue, I want to share something truly unique, a piece of one of the most sacred places in the world. This is not just a souvenir. It is authentic earth that was rescued from being lost forever, certified, and individually numbered. Years ago, tons of earth were illegally removed from the Temple Mount and discarded as waste. Today, that same earth has been carefully preserved. This is not just jewelry or a keepsake, it is a tangible connection to history. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to receive yours with an exclusive 10% discount.
The second commandment is, Lo ye Elohim ajerim al panai. You shall have no idols before me. Therefore, here we see something impressive, which is basically that God speaks to each person on an individual level. It says, I'll explain it. In Hebrew, it's Anoji asherot setiham. I am God, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. It's impressive. And then it says, you shall have no idols before me. Basically, the second commandment is the prohibition of all kinds of idolatry, of worshipping idols, whether living or dead people, or any kind of objects. When a person basically turns to them, God forbid, to pray or ask for something, that is, all of that is idolatry. God, the Almighty Creator, abhors idolatry. We see this in a forceful and very explicit way in the Torah, obviously. You don't need to do much research. That is written in the verses very clearly. And what does God tell you in the first verse, in the first commandment? It's that God wants a connection with you. God wants a healthy, pure connection with you without intermediaries. This is what the verse teaches us. Anoshi asherot setiham. Soy tu Dios, who brought you out of the house of slavery, from the land of Egypt, from the house of slavery. There is a personal connection with God. And we also see this in the word Anochi. And this is what the day of Shavuot will be. Shavuot is the great day of the giving of the Torah. We're going to talk a little more about this. Amazing secrets and how it's going to be so relevant for your life. The day of Shavuot. Shavuot means weeks. You should know that there are 7 weeks between the Exodus from Egypt, which is Pesach, the Jewish Passover, and the giving of the Torah on Shavuot. There are 50 days. There are 49 days that are spiritual steps we go through day by day, spiritual corrections. This is called the counting of the Omer, Sefirat HaOmer, as it's called in Hebrew. These are spiritual steps through which we, the people of Israel, prepare ourselves spiritually to reach the 50th day, which is the day of Shavuot. Hag Shavuot is a festival. Hag Shavuot is the day of the giving of the Torah, which is the day when the energy of the giving of the Torah is repeated again. Here's what I'll tell you. What's about to happen in a few days and how you can use this information to benefit yourself, your loved ones, and God willing, the world. It's impressive. You should know that, as I mentioned in other videos, God gives the people of Israel the secret of time. The secret of time. What do I mean by this? That basically, when God gives us the festivals or Shavuot or milestones in the Torah, they are not milestones that happened only on a historical level. Of course, that's true, but that's not the main point. The main point is that basically that historical milestone on a spiritual level, on the level of spiritual essence, is repeated again. Therefore, there is a spiral in time. There is a great spiral in time that repeats itself year after year at a higher point. Therefore, in a few days, that historical milestone, which is the unique moment in history when God, the Almighty Creator, basically in a metaphorical way, comes down to our world and reveals Himself to millions of people at the same time. That is, the people of Israel. He says what He wants from humanity, from ourselves, why He created the world, why He created us. That day is repeated again in a few days in the month of Sivan, according to the Hebrew calendar. In a few days, that day is repeated again. Therefore, if you live asleep, not you, let's say someone lives asleep and goes to work and eats and does everything they do routinely. That day he missed an incredible golden opportunity in which he could listen, could perceive a presence, something that is beyond reasoning. That is God. That great day when God reveals Himself to the whole world happens again on a spiritual level. Because you have to know that when God reveals Himself to the people of Israel, it is not a revelation only to the people of Israel. It's true that God reveals Himself to His people, to the people of God, to the people of Israel. That's real. But when God gives the Torah, He gives the Torah so that it will be a blessing for the whole world. And God asks His people to be, as it is said in Hebrew, Mamleshet Kohanim Vigoy Kadosh, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation, in which He teaches the nations what their mission in life is, why they were created, and what they have to do with their lives. And this is basically what the people of Israel have to teach the nations, to be Or Lagoyim, a light to the nations, and to teach everything we came to do in the world and why we were created. Do you think that a person can be born, grow up, become old, and that God would allow us to live our lives asleep? To do something they were told they have to do, to live, to work and eat and do this, do that, and never stop and ask, but why was I created? Why did I come into the world? I have a soul, a very precious soul. I can reach spiritual levels above the angels, reflect. Unfortunately, millions of people don't know these things. Obviously, this video is something very specific. If you want more information about this topic and others, I invite you to my channel, Mentores Espirituales TV, where you can find many aspects of what I'm talking about. But now I'm focusing on something very specific, which is understanding that this day, which will happen in a few days, that spiritual energy will return. It will happen again. And you basically have to turn on your antennas, metaphorically speaking, and be perceptive so you can try to listen. How does God speak to you? Through what, how, what, why? Where should you focus? What should you focus on? Where in your day-to-day life? God speaks to you through your life. Obviously, you're not a prophet, most likely. Obviously, God doesn't speak to you like He does to a prophet. A prophet basically has the absolute perception that God is speaking to him, and the prophet tells what God said to him. That obviously is a very, very high level. May we have the merit, God willing. But no, I'm not saying you're a prophet. God speaks to you as a soul in a body through your life. It says in the book of Psalms, Hashamayim mesaprim kvod el umasei yadav magid arakia. It says, paraphrasing, that the heavens declare the glory of God. Basically, the heavens declare, basically God through this world declares, speaks to us. In Hebrew it says, like the way of saying, of speaking, of telling. This world is a great story, in the positive sense of the word, of course. God tells you your story through your life. But what does God give you at the same time? The possibility and the responsibility to choose good. It says in Hebrew, and you will choose life, you will choose life. God gives you free will. Therefore, everything I am telling you, on one hand, are impressive secrets, which are not very difficult to understand, but they are secrets for many millions of people who don't know them. Therefore, here is what I want you to take with you first. First is this, that it is a very special day. It is a very special day in which it is repeated again on a higher level. The giving of the Torah, the day that God, in a unique way in history, did not pass. And never again afterward did He reveal Himself to millions of people to give us the gift of the Torah and tell us how He wants us to live. In fact, the word Anochi is the first word of the first commandment, hides an incredible secret that is in ancient Aramaic, not in Hebrew, but in Aramaic. Ancient Aramaic was the language spoken in Babylon. Ana nafshi ktavit veyavit. I wrote my soul and I gave it. What does it mean? That God teaches us that the Torah is Anochi, metaphorically His soul, what He loves and what He abhors, what He wants and what He hates, what He expects from us and what He doesn't want from us. That is the Torah. Torah of Kaim, Torah of life. Therefore, obviously, if you want to know what the Torah has to teach you, obviously you have to study it. Obviously, I can't teach you everything in one class. But above all, I want you to take this away. First, God gave us His soul, what He loves and what He doesn't love, what He wants and what He abhors, what He loves and what He hates. That's the Torah. He asks us which mitzvot, which commandments to fulfill, and which commandments are forbidden to do. That's what they call positive mitzvot or negative mitzvot. What does that mean? For example, eating kosher. For the people of Israel, eating kosher. Eating in a special way, a particular kind of food. And not eating forbidden things. That is, there is a path of what you should do and what is forbidden to do. Therefore, that is the Torah. But when you see that, you have to see it as something of the soul, not as something technical. You have to know that God, as it's said in Aramaic or in Hebrew, says, Rajamana li babai. Rajamana is God. God wants your heart. He wants what you feel, not something technical. Therefore, here we see something impressive, that God reveals himself on Mount Sinai to tell us that he wants what? A connection with us. He wants us to make this material world, the lowest of all worlds, into the highest world, above even the highest world of all the angels. How? By making a home for God. A home. It is said that God wants a dira batashtonim, a home in the lowest world. And what is a home? A home, your home is the place where you want to be yourself. Not a hotel room or an office or a classroom, something cold, 4 walls and a roof with tables and this and that. That's not a home. A home is a place where you can sit on the couch, for example, caress your son or your daughter, share a loving look with your partner, with your wife, with your husband, with your parents, with your grandparents, helping, giving a glass of water, smiling, saying good morning, sitting on the couch and looking at your family with a lot of happiness. To have a family in this world and correcting this world, God's world, being a partner of God in his creation, it's impressive. And God wants that from us, that we make a place for him. A place, as it is written in the verse in the weekly portion of the Torah, Parashat Teruma, which is when we give the offerings for the Mishkan, for the tabernacle in the desert. It says, God says, and build for me a tabernacle, a portable temple, and I will dwell among them. It doesn't say, I will dwell in it. Obviously, God dwells in the tabernacle. But it says an impressive secret. Bi Yahantib Bitoham. If you look, Bitoham means among them. What does among them mean? Within ourselves. We can be a tabernacle of God, a temple of God, through our thoughts, words, actions. Our family, a tabernacle. Our city, a tabernacle. Our country, the whole world, all of creation. Therefore, may we merit understanding that if you live your life, understanding that every moment of your life is a moment, it's an incredible opportunity that will not be repeated, just like that moment will never come again. And in that unique moment, you can fulfill God's will. You transform that routine, daily moment into something eternal. It will not die. It will live for eternity. That moment will live for eternity. What if I told you the next moment is the same? You have a unique opportunity to help your neighbor, to say good morning. You transform that moment into something eternal. And what if I told you that the next moment is the same, unique in history? Just like your fingerprint is unique, you are unique. You have that mission to help your neighbor, to pray to God, to connect with God, to make God's world a better world. From your workplace, wherever you work in a factory, you are an accountant, an actor, a lawyer, an economist, a driver, a teacher, whatever you are, you have every moment to help your neighbor, to connect with God, to fulfill your mission in life. You make every moment of your life unique and eternal, a unique and eternal spiritual moment in life. What's going to happen in a few days? You are going to have a kind of God willing. The possibility, if you open up, like I told you before, you open your spiritual antennas and you try to connect with that day, 24 hours, to basically understand that God is revealing himself again in an impressive way. Obviously, every moment of our lives, God reveals himself. Obviously, this world is a revelation of God, of course. But there are milestone days in the year. In the year, like I told you, they are spiritual. They are spirals in time, in which spiritual points are repeated at certain moments every day, every year, at the same point, on the same axis, from a higher place. God leads his world to perfection. There are ups and downs in between throughout the course of history, but God always leads his world to perfection. Therefore, we must know this fact. And this is another secret I want to give you. The fact that you want what is good. You want what is good even if you can't achieve it. Not being able means you didn't get the success you wanted. You couldn't. But what did you do? That for God is something impressive. God, as I told you before, Rahaman Ali Babai, God wants your heart. He wants your reason. If it's in Hebrew, your reason. Strengthen your reason. Pray to God. Ask God. Tell him what you want. That you want what is good. That you want to fulfill your mission in life. You want to give your best in your family, in your work, in your studies, wherever you are. Speak to God. As David Hamelech, King David says in the Psalms, Tell him. It says this. Hi emantiki adabar. I will increase my faith according to what I speak. I translate it freely. What does it mean? If I speak about emunah, I speak about faith. That gives me more faith. It gives me more faith. It's like a kind of dynamo, the more you speak about faith. You pray more and connect with God, seeking good. This gives you more light, faith, and security in God, gradually increasing. It strengthens your reason, your will, and your desire to do good and follow God's will. This brings more emunah, faith, and bitashon, trust in God. I spoke in Hebrew and Spanish. That is to say, strengthen your reason. And you have to know that you are not measured by the results. You are not measured by your results. The results are in God's hands. You have to know that what you achieve on an objective level, like a grade or an exam, that's not in your hands. The grade, the score, you don't write it. It's written by the exam grader. Therefore, what is actually up to you? Your reason, your desire. Reason is will. That really is your free will, which obviously is wanting and trying, of course. But the outcome, what will come after, that's really not in your hands. But what is in your hands is to want what is good and to try to do good. That's impressive. Therefore, may we have the merit to be aligned with the will of God, constantly doing so in our lives for many days and many years. Doing the will of God with a free heart. And as I tell you this, I also want to tell you on a personal level, to tell you about myself. I have the merit of having a beautiful community. It's called Israel Jai. Israel lives. It's amazing. In fact, if you're not a member yet, if you haven't joined my community and you like my content, if you're part of my channel, I invite you, of course. Here in the video description, you can request information. There's a WhatsApp number where you can connect with me, send messages, questions. We have meetings, we have courses, you might even leave loneliness behind. A lot of people feel alone. Who wants to be part of Israel, wants to be part of the land of Israel, to have more personalized courses or a more select group, more like being part of a community when you don't have that place. Here is an incredible opportunity, and from where I stand, I warmly invite you, if you haven't joined yet, to join. Here you have the information in the video description. You can send a WhatsApp message, you can sign up through a link. And this is a personal example where we have the merit in my community of being part of a great group. It's not just me. There are other people who do good deeds. In Israel, for example, we help soldiers' families, wives, sons, and daughters of soldiers. We help in all sorts of ways. As I told you, it's more community-based. We have gatherings, we have courses. It's impressive. You can write to me, reach out to me with questions. I'm telling you this as a personal example, but you, besides joining my community if you want, can also do other things also in your daily life. Say, well, what do I want to change? What do I want to change? Very important, don't think in giant leaps from the start. Why? If you don't achieve it, you'll likely give up. Think, yes, about a big dream, what you want to achieve, and think about how to go step by step toward that goal. Today I'm going to improve by smiling at home and saying good morning. Tomorrow I'm going to offer a glass of water to my family or at my workplace, help with something, at my place of study. I'm good at summarizing, give my summaries to a classmate who needs help. That is, think, small, big steps, step by step, step by step, step by step. And so, God willing, the light that will come in this month of Sivan, according to the Hebrew calendar, in a few days, you will bring it into your daily life, every moment of your life. Instead of it being just one great day in the year, you are going to bring that light, God willing, you are going to bring that light to every moment of your life, day by day, moment by moment, and so, God willing. So, God willing, you are going to transform every moment of your life into something eternal. May everything be filled with many blessings and much success. Much success in the spiritual and material aspects, in doing good, in wanting to do good. And may we truly have the merit to give the best of our lives at every moment. Success and blessings.